Britain had been suffering from the severe economic downturn during the early 30s, which brought out the best in King Edward VIII's character, biographer Ted Powell claims.
Aunt Pasternak, author of a new book The Real Wallis Simpson, claims Edward had a charisma in those days which was unique.
However, the then Prince of Wales was quickly marked down by the establishment as a dangerous subversive.
How first meeting with Harry mirrors Mrs Simpson's with Edward, how Queen and Prince Philip cold-shouldered Edward and Mrs Simpson. If Edward acquired a reputation as a pleasure-loving prince during the Roaring Twenties, with the onset of the Great Depression in the 30s he found a completely new role. Ms Pasternak claims that, during the previous years, Edward had made extensive tours across England and Wales, visiting hundreds of working men's clubs and schemes for the unemployed, seeking out areas of the rawest poverty. The author alleges the prince would return from his public duties painfully aware that there was always something lacking.
The 2019 biography claims 1932 was a year Wallis Simpson pronounced dismal. In the book alleges that Wallis wrote to her Aunt Bessie that her then-husband, Ernst Simpson's shipping business was struggling as the world lay in the trough of the Depression.
Hardest hit were the industrial and mining areas of the north of England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, where unemployment reached 70%. In the spring of 1932, King George V had an intimate conversation with Edward regarding his reputation. The king allegedly told his son that while he was still worshipped by the public, he could not expect to survive the erosion of his reputation caused by the increasingly damaging revelations surrounding his private life. The biography explains that Edward liked married women and zinging cocktail girls, noting George V's concerns that Edward should find a nice English girl. Although Edward exercised no political power, his prominent position and popularity enabled him to influence the debate on the great issues of the day.
Edward made more than 50 radio broadcasts, far more than any other public figure at the time.
Some were straightforward charity appeals, but others, like a speech on slum clearance in May 1933, were direct attempts to influence government policy, according to biographer Ted Powell in 2018 book King Edward VIII, An American Life.
Edward became an outspoken campaigner for slum clearance and the construction of modern affordable housing.
Mr Powell said, in doing so he caused controversy, breaking the royal code of political impartiality by implicitly criticizing the government of the day for its failure to act